So the iPhone 14s were announced yesterday, and it's honestly kind of interesting because there are some key highlights that I'm not actually super happy about. And the iPhone 14 in a way kind of has a weird issue that I'm not looking forward to in the future. Now, first of all, I like these iPhones. I think they're great, but these iPhones aren't perfect just like any other iPhone before them. And the biggest thing that I'm not super happy about is the fact that the iPhone 14, at least for the US models, don't have a SIM card tray. I feel like this is something that I feel like is not going to be a super big deal to a lot of people, but as soon as you buy this iPhone, you have to keep in mind that if you don't already have an eSIM, device, if you don't have an iPhone that you're coming from that had eSIM technology, you probably never even thought of eSIM before. So essentially, this is the electronic SIM card. So if you're coming from a phone that already has a SIM card installed, well then it's going to be easy to transfer from one iPhone to the other, right? Well, that's not quite the case. eSIM really is only compatible for a few different, carriers as far as I know, T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T. If you're coming from another, service provider, the iPhone 14 may not be 100% compatible. So that is one thing to keep in mind. Now, another thing that kind of is very interesting is that if you're coming from an iPhone in a different demographic, there's going to be a couple of different iPhone 14 models. So there's going to be the US model, then there's going to be the outside US models. Personally, I don't understand why Apple even differentiated the different iPhone 14s right now, because it's going to put the US model iPhone 14s in a weirder spot because they're going to be not as valuable as an iPhone 14 from out of this country. So if you're getting an iPhone 14, and we've seen this time and time again, if you get an iPhone 14 in a different country, and that thing has a SIM card tray installed, well then that's going to be very strange because that iPhone technically has more features and is a better iPhone than the ones inside of this country. So that is another thing. I don't like how Apple kind of differentiated the different iPhones within one single iPhone right now. They've done this before with different things here and there, but usually it's with iPhones and like with iPhone boxes, like some countries require things with charging blocks and everything. So that was another thing that kind of struck me the wrong way. Apple has also kind of gone away with that cheaper iPhone, which is that $699 price tag one. So that is another thing. The cheapest iPhone 14 is now at $799 rather than the bottom tier price at $699. So that was another thing that kind of threw me off a little bit. But also, and to kind of finish it off, is with the emergency SOS via satellite. So this is a really cool feature that I'm really happy about, but it looks like it's only free for 2 years. What's going to happen after the 2-year mark? Is that now going to put those iPhones in a spot where in order to utilize this emergency SOS via satellite feature, we need to pay for something like that? I do understand satellite is something that, it's probably cost some money. We've seen different, products come out back in the day that also had satellite, and I'm sure it's not a cheap thing to do, but to kind of highlight and to kind of showcase that as some sort of life-saving feature, it's weird that you're going to have to pay for something like that where, it could just be free. The fact that it's only free for 2 years is very strange. I feel like it should be free indefinite by the way Apple was kind of explaining it. So those were kind of the first things that kind of stood out to me. I'm going to be pre-ordering them. I'm going to be going, comparing them like I do every year. But those are just the first things that kind of stood out to me personally. So that kind of covers it up. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.